Okay, so today we're doing injectors on our 2003 LB7. This isn't going to be a crazy in-depth video, but it is going to show you the basics of everything you need to have and need to know to do the LB7 injectors. So just to start, let's just dive right into it. I'm not going to show you how to do this all, but you need to take your two batteries out. Those are 8mm side post batteries with a 13mm hold down. And then first thing is, you're going to see us do this, but we're going to undo the AC compressor, the serpentine belt. The AC compressor is going to flip up, intakes coming out, and charge pipes. Get those out of the way to start with, and we're going to go from there. All that stuff's pretty basic stuff. Pull on the belt off right now so we can get the AC compressor unbolted and flip it up.
Yep.
Yeah, I should have got a bigger.
Here, I got you. I got this.
I got it. That comes off just like so. I screwed up by doing that though. Now we're going to be undoing all the electrical to the AC and the 4 AC bolts. If you drain your AC and whatever, you can just undo the lines and take the compressor out, but I don't like to mess with the Freon, so I just flip it up in the corner. You just did that with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good. You only need to loosen one side. Yeah. Go under. Radiator fluid. If you come up under here, it's gonna be hard to see, but right there, you just undo that little thing and it drains the radiator. So
try not to make too big of a mess.
Yep.
We're gonna make a big mess.
It'll happen. Invest in a power washer. That's about
just take off your fingers.
Yep. You have to. Sometimes you gotta break it loose with pliers. Here it goes. I might let it go slow for a second so we catch it. So I'm doing these two fuel lines off the filter housing, and then we're gonna actually be unbolting the filter housing. It's kind of hard to see with all this wiring in here, but we'll get to it. Well, apparently you got a tendency to. It's frustrating. Alright, so the Fickum, when you unplug it, it's just these little slider things, and then so you slide them out, and then it just wiggles off like that. Pretty simple. Top one goes this way. Make sure nothing's in your way. And wiggles right out. Those are your Fickum connectors. After you undo the connectors, you're going to want to undo this. It's an 11/16 wrench. And then you want to undo the Fickum, like undo the bolts afterwards. We screwed up on that. And then you can either take this line off here or here and pull it off, or you can just get the fuel filter housing ready to pull and pull it at the same time and never disconnect it. So it's up to you what you want to do there. Just remember how you do it and how it goes back together. Gotta pull off from the filter housing to get all the wiring off of it. Gotta pull the ground off, it's on one of the bolts, and then undo the whatever that red wire does, and then put that back. Oh, I forgot the sensor plug. Get it?
Just like that. Drinking decent.
Don't do it all myself. You're going to want to put this in a clean space so you make sure nothing gets in that top part of the ficum or that fuel line. Just anywhere. Don't want to trash your new injectors, so make sure you put this up.
Holy hell.
Take that much force for me to break a tire less.
Easy, dude. You're about to fall in the bay.
Apparently the Shade T mechanic didn't use a torque wrench. He must have used his feeler gauge. It was a hand torque dyno.
Yeah.
Alright, so now we're to the valve covers so you can see them, the uppers. So first thing we're going to do is remove all these 8mm, and that'll pull that out, and then we'll use either it's a 19mm or a 3/4 crow's foot to break each of these loose. I'll show you guys how to do that, but first get those 8mm little clip things out and pull them out of each. Okay, so to break all these injector lines loose, what we're going to do is get a 3/4 crow's foot, and you just put that on there and get your ratchet, and then might have to get a better angle on it, a little leverage. There it goes. Now it went. Now it'll be able to be hand tight. And I'm just going to show you guys doing that one. But up in there, you have the back of the line. You're going to do the same to all those. And then you're going to do all 4 of them and pull them out. Alright, we got all those injector lines off. Now we're moving to the upper valve cover. It's going to be a 5mm Allen head. And these things are prone to strip. So make sure you're very straight and just super careful with them. May even buy a couple in advance because these things are very prone to strip. So there goes one, came out.
Stripped or gone?
There's strips 1, there's strips 2, and I sell the truck. I'm just kidding. And there's 2 turning.
And what, I think there's 11 or 13 of them.
I don't know, we'll count after we get them out.
Yep, sounds good.
Pull this off the valve cover, PCV valve or whatever.
Got her.
And there's an Allen right behind it. Oh wait, that's to the lower valve cover. Okay, don't gotta worry about that one yet. Got that one. Okay, so we're going up under where the inner fender well would be, and we're taking off all those little harnesses. They're the glow plug harnesses. And then these tabs up here on that top valve cover. We got all the bolts out. There's 11 in the top valve cover. And you're just gonna use a little pry tool and then set like a 2x4 or just something to pry against right here, or a socket on the head bolt, either way. You're just gonna set something up there to pry up and then pop that valve cover off. Okay. I just put those 2x there, and then I just kind of did that. Make sure you don't break a glove plug or something.
Yeah. It was not that easy.
Yep, it was.
He's on there.
Took a lot to get that off, but should just be kind of. And there she comes. Boom, shakalaka. Now you gotta scrape all that gasket off that's in there. Okay, so we undid the injector harnesses. They're 7mm. There's 2 per injector. So you have 2 there, 2 there, 2 there, and 2 there. 7mm, and then you have 2 10mm on each side. And then this comes out, and you just undo the connector and pull it out. And those are your injector harnesses. Okay, so after you do those injector harnesses, how we showed you, there's going to be 11 of that same Allen head size. It's a 5mm, I believe. And these are different, so keep them away from each other. Make sure you know which is which. They're the lower valve cover bolts. Make sure you got them all. And then lower valve cover, you don't have to pry out. It just comes off. So here it comes. And wiggle it out of there. And lower valve cover's off. So here it is. And then when you buy your kit or whatever you do, you'll get a new seal for it. So you just take this seal off and clean it up a little and put your new one on. So simple as that. Now you have all the, come down here and look. Each one of these is an Allen head and goes to the injector. This is the return side. And then you have 112mm up in there. And then you pull this whole row out. Just like so. Pretty simple. And then leaking diesel. But we're gonna replace these seals too. So those little double-sided seals. Alright, ready? We're up in here. We already did the back one because it came out super easy. You guys are probably gonna be more stuck than this. But all we're doing is getting a little pry bar and just wiggling a little, and then it's popping up. So if you guys are seeing that, that's all we're doing. Or I guess this would, what would the cylinder be, 2?
I have no idea.
Should be 2. The copper, the washer. Make sure if you're not doing and changing, if you're not changing your
Cups?
yeah, if you're not doing your cups, make sure that you get that crush washer out and replace it. And then if you need a little more leverage, you can thread the old line back on it and kind of wiggle and pull. But that came out there, so we'll set it down and move on to the next. Okay, so we got our first injector cup out, and how we did so was shit, now I'm not gonna be able to loosen it without a wrench. Well, it did it pretty good because it's still stuck in there. But we got a little piece of garden hose and a Harbor Freight. So the garden hose is in there, and then this Harbor Freight puller kit, slide hammer and bearing puller. We got that one, and then these things, you just thread them in. So we put the piece of garden hose in, then we expanded it. Stole this idea from another guy off YouTube, and it definitely seems to work. So, okay, we're setting a 3/4 inch concrete anchor, and we're just setting it in the cup.
Just for the hard to reach ones that without the slide hammer.
The slide hammer works great on all the others, but the hard to reachers, we're sticking that in, and then we got somewhere I got one. We got a lag bolt, and I'm just tightening this until the concrete anchor gets really tight in there. As soon as it gets tight enough, it seems like it'll on the last one at least how it worked is I just tightened where did I put it?
A crescent.
Yeah, I had a crescent on the end of this, the part that stays on, and I tightened that down, and once I tightened it enough, it started to spin the whole housing. So as soon as the whole cup started to spin, then I was able to just bang up on the crescent and just popped out. Hot damn. Alrighty, we had to pull the AC, what is that?
I don't know what it's called.
I forget what it's called. I know what it's called, I just
Like
forget.
canister thing.
But we had to do it so we could get the slide hammer in there, but we got it out, last one's out. And now we're putting new injector cups in, so we use a little bit of, people use different types of grease and stuff. All we have is like some bicycle grease that we're gonna put on the O-rings and then seat them in and put the injectors in, we'll be good to go. Injector cups ready to go in, so we're putting all the Loctite around and making sure we're all dabbed up. So gotta clean it up a little bit, and then we'll put a little bit of lubricant around these O-rings and then get the injector seated. Let's hope we don't screw these up because it's the first time doing it.
Yep. Go over this one to see.
Yep, so we're just lubing this O-ring up, and then we're popping the cap off, setting that to the side, so when we ship our pull the injectors back, we'll be able to put those on for packaging. Then making sure there's no debris or anything in here. And then you just grab and make sure your copper's on, your crush washer. So then you just kind of grab and twist, and then you hear that snap.
Pops on you.
Yep, so you hear that snap. And then now what we'll be doing to seat these is we've watched a couple other videos, and these guys are professional mechanics, so we're taking their advice and hoping they're right. We're using a little bit of grease on these, putting the Loctite on them, and then we're setting them in like this and using the hold down bracket to run them in. So you just tighten that slowly and nicely. Supposedly it applies even pressure and just pops it in, and it worked great for the one we just did. So that's how we're gonna roll with it, but that's what we're doing.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna grab the slick honey.
Get out the tacos, unless you want to.
No, that must be like his.
Let's see.
Is it in?
I can't see.
Holy shit, it is.
I'm a little smoother now.
I did number 3 already, right?
Yeah.
Seal. Alright, we're putting the new seals or crush washers, whatever you want to call them, onto the injector return lines. So we're just getting those popped on now. Make sure you put them on right. There's a top side which is smaller and the bottom which is bigger. So make sure you do that right, and then pop your bolts through. Make sure you're all lined up. It is the next morning already.
Yep,
we gotta hurry before the rain.
Yep. So yesterday, if you guys want to come look, we got new injectors in, injector cups, and then we actually took a break and got the downpipe off. That's why yesterday was such a long day, because we had to do all of that. So this morning it's supposed to rain in a couple hours, so we're gonna try to get lower valve covers on, injector harnesses, upper valve covers, lines, ficum, and fuel unit is, I think, the plan. So we're gonna try to get all that done this morning.
And see what time it rains, and then go from there.
If it starts to rain, we'll wrap it up for today, and if it doesn't, we'll continue and get that side done. So that's what we're doing this morning. We're gonna get to it.
Okay, so we just went over and got our pressure washer and pressure wash these things. And most people say they sit there and I'll grab this one, scrape them out, and it takes forever. And we still have to do a little bit to this one. They're like, oh, I ground off a screwdriver and this and that. But this thing, pressure washer, better than,
Yeah, we've been doing that for days.
yeah, most I've ever seen. So definitely worthwhile if you have a pressure washer to break it out and get the little high pressure nozzle and blast it. So, but now we got this thing in there. Now we got our new gasket installed on the lower valve cover. So we're gonna pop the lower valve cover on, and then we'll do injector harnesses, and then whatever else is needed and put upper valve cover on. So we'll do that real quick.
All right, we're just torquing the lowers. They're at 89 inch-pounds. And then the uppers are 79, I think. I have to look again. 79 twice. I don't know if there's a pattern or whatever, but. There you go, brother. Jace.
Pause the music.
Let's do it.
Alright, so we're getting the injector lines on right now. We got the upper valve cover on and torqued. Injector lines are going on now. We're almost done with them. And then it's just kind of putting the wiring back together, the glow plugs hooked back up, the thickum mounted, and the
Downpipe before that.
downpipe. Yeah, we'll do the downpipe while we have everything out, but just kind of getting everything back to where it was. So we're close though.
We'll start on the other side.
Yep. Okay, all right, we got so we're gonna be done for today. It's storming right now, about to rain, but we got the whole passenger side completely buttoned up, so we'll show you guys tomorrow.
We got the downpipe and the passengers
on, and everything passenger-wise is completely done.
And we're about to enter a stage 6 tornado.
Yeah, no, just kidding. We live in Utah. Ain't no tornadoes here,
But yeah, perks of working out in your driveway.
yep.
You deal with the
Abide
weather.
by the weather. So we're wrapping up for today, but hopefully tomorrow should be good. So
See you then. See you whenever it's good,
we'll get the
brother.
drivers done tomorrow. Sweet. So the rain and wind have stopped. So we're doing the driver's side today. We're gonna start by pulling off. We got to get these the connectors out of the way. They have bolts under them, and that whole bracket comes off. Then we got to get this top coolant pipe off, and we'll just unbolt it from the. This is where the thermostat sits, so we'll unbolt that, and that'll come off. And then we'll get the boost pipe out of the way, and the glow plug box, and then we're gonna get some fuel line remover tools and get those fuel lines out of the way also. Ready? Okay, so we're pulling off this. So we got the thermostat all the way. We set the AC compressor over there. We've got the whole thermostat and the whole coolant pipe out of our way. And then this bracket is what these guys bolt to, and it just goes down in here on those three. So it's pretty simple. Got that pulled out of the way. Next is going to be our boost pipe, and then fuel lines and our thickum bracket and all that stuff. So that's how all that stuff goes together. We just got everything out of the way. We got our fuel lines disconnected, like I said. Got the ECM, not the whatever, the big bell connectors off, the bracket for them, and then we undid the glow plug module. Everything's pretty easy to undo. We got the glow plug harness undone from all the glow plugs and wrapped up in there. So, oh, and we got the thermostat pipe and everything. All that whole coolant pipe, that upper rad hose is all taken off. So we're basically there to get to all the upper valve cover bolts. So we're gonna undo the injector lines and the upper valve cover bolts and get the upper valve cover off, and then we'll move on to the lower. So. This uses a lot of goop this time. Alright, upper valve cover off. Now time to undo the injector harnesses like before. So we'll undo those and then undo the lower valve cover bolts. Remember 11 of each valve cover bolt. So 11 upper, 11 lower. They're all 5mm Allens. So
you have to use a swivel one.
Yep. The back ones are a little difficult to get to on this, but
use some luck and a swivel. You'll get them.
Yes, sir.
I think the bottom gasket's bad.
We're putting our new injectors in. We decided to not pull the cups. They all look pretty decent, and none pulled out with the injectors. So now we're just putting the new injectors in. So we lubed up the O-ring, and now we're setting them in. Make sure you got your coppers on and your old coppers out, and get your get the injector cups cleaned out so they seat right. When you're installing these, you just you put the hold down on them
And drop the copper.
lose the new copper washer, and then so you put the hold down on them, and then you pop them in, and once you hear that pop, that means they're seated, so you're good. And just double check and make sure your O-ring didn't slide up and it went down with them. But pretty simple.
Now the main reason is because they look like they suck to remove. They ain't gonna come out.
What? The injector cups?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how we had the slide hammer method, and that's not gonna fit on this side, and we could not find some 1 1/8 pipe to save our lives, so. The upper valve covers, lower valve covers we already did. I don't know if we filmed that or not, but we torqued the upper valve covers, and now we're putting on all of our new injector line. So putting these on, and then we'll start throwing out all the brackets and crap we took off of it back on it.
And then change oil and
Fire it up.
start it. Change the fuel out of the oil, I mean, and then put oil in it.
Yeah, because did we tell them how there was a bunch of fuel in this?
I don't know.
Yeah, so anyway, that's what the problem with this was, is there's this whole bottom end's full of fuel.
And well, we have the video of it dumping it down the.
Yeah.
We just finished up, well, we watched Jace finish up the injectors on this turd of an LB7. We still got some more stuff to do to it. So, just like this box of goodies sitting here. We got more stuff to do to it, more things to go on the channel, and a lot more other projects. So
Yeah, something fell off up under the ground. That's weird.
yep, exhaust. So we got a bunch to do to it. Follow us along, stay tuned. We got a bunch coming in the future, a lot more videos. Thanks for watching.